Hi, hello everybody, and welcome to Firefest! I have been playing Animal Crossing since day one, and normally my island doesn't look like this. But as you can see, I've made a complete and total wreck of my entrance, and also my shops area. Well, that's because I wanted to completely remodel a section of my island and add a pumpkin patch and an apple orchard. So this is the part of the island that we are going to be remodeling. It's my downtown shops area, complete with a games booth, fortune teller, a salon, and also gardening goods, just to name a few of them. I worked really hard on this section of my island earlier this year, and about, I think May or June was when I finished this area, and it is all going away. I'm kind of sad to see it go, since I did work so hard on it, and it was one of the first areas of my island that I was pretty proud of. But I have had the same island since day one. I haven't restarted or anything. So I'm really looking forward to having a brand new project to work on the island, and to use everything that I've learned over the past few months to revamp this part and make it look even better. So we are going to actually get started, and in order to do that, I have to clean up everything that was here on the island. Boy, what a project that is. Instead of having to run back and forth to put things in my storage, I'm just gonna dump everything on the beach for the time being. Now, all of the signs and most of the stall coverings I made myself as a custom design, so I forget that you can't drop those custom designed stalls on the ground. So those I had to put directly into my inventory. Now we have to erase all of this wood paneling on the ground. And oh man, is this not the most tedious thing you've ever had to do in Animal Crossing, I swear. I like to go in a circle. I don't know, it helps it feel a little bit less monotonous. My villagers really wanted to hang out with me on this particular day for some strange reason. Usually they're always on the eastern part of the island, but today they really wanted to hang out right where I was, really renovating everything. Fortunately, nobody sat down on the tiles I was trying to redecorate on, but it was a close call. Like, come on, Velma, there's like a 5x5 square left, and you had to happen to stand on some of that. Well, now that that's all done, it's time to actually get into the planning. Whenever I do a really big area especially, I like to build a grid out of dirt. It helps me keep track of where everything is, so I do alternating dark dirt and regular dirt paths until I have like my grid all built out, and that way it helps me count a little easier to make sure that everything is 100% even. Also, tragically, this wood plank ramp is just in the way for so much of the time, but it will be demolished, don't worry. We're starting out with the apple orchard on the north side of the section. I played around a little bit if I wanted to have one row of space in between the apple trees or two, and I ended up going with two, because I just think it looks a little bit better, and I like to have two wide pathways. See, now two of my villagers are here, and Velma sits down right in front of a tree. Fortunately, I don't need that area, so she's not in the way. Yet, but there's still time. I'm just kidding, I love Velma. not have quite enough apple trees, but that's fine. We just plant a couple of brand new ones, and by the time we get to the after footage, don't worry, they will be fully grown. Now, I know I said earlier that I like things to be 100% even, but the right side is ever so slightly narrower than the left side. However, I do think it works, so I went with it. And now we're going to get started on the pumpkin patch section. Almost every pumpkin patch I've seen people make have these alternating light and dark dirt paths, and I think it looks absolutely fabulous, so I decided to go with that for my pumpkin patch as well. I really love this spooky fencing, but it did take me quite a while to get the spooky DIYs. I have been time traveling almost non-stop since October 1st, breeding purple, orange, and black flowers, as well as trying to get all of the spooky DIYs I possibly can. And I don't even have them all yet, but I do have a majority of them, and I have the ones that I wanted to make work for this decoration section, so I think it was overall time well spent. Ugh, I swear I don't understand how the plants behave half the time. I'm trying to plant them, there's a hole right in front of me, and it plants it to my right. I don't understand what's going on. So I decided I didn't want this whole patch filled completely with pumpkins. I wanted somewhere to really show off all of the Halloween DIYs and decorations. So that's what the right side of the patch is going to be. Even though the whole patch isn't going to be planted with pumpkins, I did decide to keep the dark and light alternating dirt paths throughout the whole thing. It feels to me that this field was already sown, perhaps, or tilled, I think is the word, with the light and dark dirt paths, but they wanted to decorate for Halloween, so they just didn't plant pumpkins over there at this particular point. Honestly, I thought I would never have a use for the hay bed ever, because it's just not the type of decorations on my island, but fall is the perfect time to bring out those hay bales. I just wish you could sit on them instead of having to lay on them. But you know what? They fit in really well, especially with that spooky carriage. Oh, it's such a great decoration for Halloween. It's, I think, my favorite from the series. But the fencing is also absolutely stellar, so that's kind of a hard tie, I believe. So I want to set down some stools so that people could possibly like sit there while they're picking apples. I really wish there was just a way to do a basket with one type of fruit in it. So even though this is an apple orchard, there's every type of fruit in the basket. It's fine, don't question it. Oh, and don't worry, any balloon that passed by during this build, I definitely popped. I just cut it out because I figured that would be a little boring for you guys to watch. So first I thought about having a little bit of a combination between the hedges and the spooky fencing, but I do end up changing that a little bit later. I'm also really excited a little bit later in the fall to see what the hedges look like when it gets a little bit more brown. I think it's going to look really nice, but I ended up doing spooky fencing all on the south side with the spooky stuff and the pumpkins, and hedges completely on the north side where it's a little bit more generic fall. However, the spooky fencing is so fabulous, and the pumpkin design is so subtle that I really feel like it's going to be useful year-round for just a wrought iron fence. Especially since the iron fencing is blue? Who asked for blue iron fencing? Now that everything is coming together, I can finally get rid of my grid and start placing my actual path. I really love this path. I will leave creator codes in the description for any and all custom designs that I used here, so please check that out and give them a download if you like their paths. I really like the color of this one. It's more reddish than any of the other ones of the path that I've seen. The other ones are a little bit more brown or maybe more dusty, but I really love a red tint on the dirt. I think it looks really nice. So this one is 100% my favorite. We have a quick costume change. I time traveled to the next day so that I could get a couple of things finished up and created, and also went ahead and changed costumes since it is October. I've been wearing a bunch of different costumes that I have in my armoire. Why I feel like it should not look good together, but the purple, black, and orange looks so nice together. I am such a big fan of it, especially the shades on the orange lilies versus the purple and black roses. I think are such good shades to place next to each other. I really enjoyed seeing this all come together. And man, did I spend a lot of time breeding purple flowers. I had a surprisingly small amount of purple flowers before I started on this project. I don't know why. I guess that was the one type of flower that I didn't work that hard to breed. I had almost every other color, but I had to work to get purple pansies and purple hyacinths. Oh my goodness. So much time traveling. And of course, we're playing none other than KK Dirge in the pumpkin patch. And things are finally coming together. I'm really happy with the way everything is turning out, and I love when you work so hard for so long on a project and you really get to finally see it come together. It's just very satisfying. And these pumpkin patch outfits I also got from the design catalog, so I'll be sharing those codes down in the bottom as well. And here is our final look at the area. We have signs for the pumpkin patch and apple orchard leading across the bridge, spooky arch leading the way into the pumpkin patch, as well as a ticket booth. But I had a lot of fun doing this, and honestly, for as long as I spent on it, I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. That throwback skull radio is just fabulous. I think it works out really well here. Even the color, the green color, I think works really well with everything. And again, Agnes, who wants my seat? Like, I'm working on something. Get out of here. Just kidding. I also love Agnes. I really like the way that everything turned out with the pumpkins and the flowers, all of the colors coming together. Just makes such a wonderful fall feeling. And I am leaving this up until Christmas. You'd better believe it. And yes, I know I'm wearing the summer solstice crown, but sunflowers work for the fall as well. If you liked this speed build, please do give this video a like. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions. I do intend to upload this to the Dream Suite. But wait a second, isn't the front of my island still a complete disaster zone? Yes it is. So please do stay tuned for part 2. Subscribe and get the notification for part 2. I will be redoing the entrance to the island and putting a couple more decorations up around the place. So that will be coming very soon. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.